Hey y'all, this is Software Focus, and today we're going back to basics with Camtasia. You don't want to miss this. Today's episode will be focused on callout annotations used during editing in Camtasia. To find the callouts, first go under Annotations on the left side. That will bring up the Annotations window. And make sure that the far left option that looks like a speech bubble with an A in it is selected to ensure you are looking at callouts. There are a series of pre-made, pre-designed callouts. You can access more by changing the style drop-down from basic to abstract, bold, urban. I'm going to select all so we can just see all the pre-made options. And you can add these to your video in several different ways. One of the easiest is just click and drag over onto the canvas. You'll see that it appears where you place it, and there are manipulation dots that can be used to resize, and you can move the entire object. For items that have tails, the tail is usually selectable as a dot, which can be dragged around to more effectively choose what you're wanting to look at. To change the text in the callout, by default they all come with ABC. Double click and it will select the text, and you can then begin typing. This applies to most all items here. There are speech bubble type callouts, there are arrow callouts, there are just boxes, and there is also just text. You can change the style and the color of the callout and aspects of the callout itself by going to the Properties pane on the right side, clicking the film strip icon, and you get the callout specific settings where you can make it bigger or smaller, make it clearer or more opaque. You can manually do a rotation of all three axes. You can also manually do a position, and you'll notice as I drag this around, these values change. If I grab the left center dot where it's green, I can rotate it. You'll see that it changes the rotation information here. Now this is specific to just the text. If I click on one of these that has like a box or shape behind it, you'll get the same overall callout settings, but a new button at the top appears. Clicking on that will then allow you to see callout color type options. So if you have themes, I'll address that in another video, you can select that here. If you want to change this shape, you can change that here. You can change the fill to be a solid or a gradient, and you can of course change that color here. You can change the opacity of the fill within the shape. You can adjust the outline of the shape. So the style is solid line, dotted line, dashed line, etc. And you can change the color of that line. You can adjust the thickness or thinness of the line, and can also make it more transparent. To change the text specific options, select the A on the Properties pane. Again, you can select a specific theme if you have one set up. You can change the font style, you can change the color of the font. You can choose whether it be a regular font, an italicized font, a bold, or a bold italicized font. You can adjust the size here, and as you go bigger it will make the shape bigger, but if you go smaller it won't automatically make the shape smaller. You can underline it or cross it out. You can adjust the horizontal and vertical alignments. You can adjust the vertical and horizontal spacing. And you can enable or disable auto-rotate text, so when you rotate a shape, you can tell it to auto-flip so that it's visible. You can also add callouts to your project by dragging them down to the timeline, and they will by default appear in the center. You can also double-click on one, and that will also place it down into the timeline and the canvas. This has been Software Focus. If you like this video, hit that like button, or click subscribe to join the channel for future videos. If you have any feedback or ideas for future videos, please leave a comment down below. Keep focusing!